So I'm Philippa Hughes, and I started the Pink Line Project about 7 years ago. I say about because I kind of started doing things without really knowing what I was doing. I just wanted to experiment, and somehow I landed in this art world that I loved, but I didn't really know how to connect with it.
In terms of branding, what's really important is really knowing what your brand stands for. Like putting a stake in the ground and saying, this is what I stand for, and everything evolves from that statement. And so I think it's really important for businesses to have a mission statement, to know what their values are, and everything will grow from that.
This is a mission statement and value statement that I created about 6 years after I started my business. I decided I needed to take it to the next level, but I didn't really know how because, like I said, I really did a lot of things by gut instinct. And so I hired a business coach, which was really exciting in the sense that I felt like this guy was going to help me figure out what the next step was. And what I started to realize as we did this exercise is that the brand of the business was really an extension of myself, the person, Philippa. And I started to think about what that meant and how I got from basically being the sort of corporate lawyer to this. This is an art project that I became part of, in which an artist named Jeffrey Cudlin, in case you can't tell, he's the one on the left, impersonated me all summer, the whole summer of 2010. So I started to think about how did this transition and transformation take place, and how did it become part of not only, well, first the Pink Line Project brand, but ultimately it became a personal brand that became completely interwoven and inseparable. I started doing things while I was still practicing law that were sort of natural extensions of who I am. For example, I started holding these little salons in which I invited artists over and musicians, people who were creative, because I felt this sort of yearning for myself to be creative. At the same time, I also started sort of exploring my own creative urges, and I always wanted to be a writer. In fact, I'd wanted to be a writer since the 4th grade when I won this little writing contest in 4th grade. This is my first blog post, by the way, and I started doing it as a way to force myself to write something, if not every day, regularly, because I thought if I wanted to be a writer, I had to actually start writing. I started doing the writing of the blog, and the salons, and both of those things kept growing. The salons really grew to the point where I actually was appointed as arts commissioner in the DC Arts Commission, which, I think says a lot about the commission, that they were really open-minded to this idea that this person who was out there just promoting the heck out of the undergroundish scene deserved a spot at their table. Also, lots of articles were written about some of the projects that I was doing. And I'm sort of showing you this, I realized after I put this in there that it sounds sort of braggy, but I'm really pointing this out to show that, one, I was getting all this attention and press, and I never once sent a press release to anybody. All I did was do the things that I like to do. And somehow the energy of what I was trying to do naturally became the brand, basically, the brand of the Pink Line Project, and ultimately me.
To go back to a tried and true piece of advice, you've got to stick to who you really are as a person or as a business. Figure out what you really stand for, and be true to that, and have everything be a natural extension of those things, and not try to force what you think other people want you to be, but what you want to be, and let people come to you because your message resonates with them.